Right now at 4, Governor Andrew Cuomo's travel advisory is now in effect. Our News 4's Chris Horvitz breaks down how the state will enforce the quarantine rule. Plus, Erie County Health Commissioner Dr. Gail Burstein will join us live. We will talk to her about the county's response to the coronavirus as Western New York continues the reopening process.
And while right now it looks just like a beautiful sunny day around downtown, some areas are dealing with showers, thunderstorms, even some pockets of hail. We'll have the latest on what you can expect this evening and into the weekend coming up.
And Assemblyman Sean Ryan is calling on the Bills to give season ticket holders a break for the 2020 season. We'll tell you how it could impact the next season. We are following breaking news on News 4 at 4. The charges against an off-duty Town of Tonawanda police officer and his wife have been upgraded. In January of 2019, Amy Scholl told police she was behind the wheel of the couple's SUV when they crashed into another car. Investigators later discovered Officer Howard Scholl was actually the one driving. Both of the Scholls are now facing a felony count of falsifying records and insurance fraud, which is a misdemeanor. The couple is expected to return to court in August. Also in your top 4 at 4, Governor Andrew Cuomo's COVID-related travel advisory is now in effect. That means anyone coming into New York State from a state with a high rate of coronavirus spread is ordered to quarantine for 2 weeks. News 4's Chris Horvitz joins us with the details you need to know.
A lot of people have been wondering, how in the world is New York State going to enforce this? Governor Cuomo gave an answer to that on CNN this morning. He claims there will be random checks. Cuomo says the state knows who's coming in on flights from those states and will have inspectors randomly looking at names on those lists and calling to make sure they are quarantining. New York is doing this in coordination with New Jersey and Connecticut. It applies to the other states highlighted on your screen. The list could change on a weekly basis. According to the executive order the governor signed, those violating this rule could be fined as much as $10,000. Here's the governor on CNN.
If you don't and you get caught, you will have violated the law. You can be fined. It's like any other law, Allison. You know, you can speed in your car, and if you don't get caught, you're fine. You can drink too much and get in the car and drive home, and if you don't get caught, you're fine. But you fly into New York, we'll have your name, we'll know where you're supposed to be staying. There'll be random checks.
We were at the Buffalo airport this morning as a flight from Tampa came in. Florida is one of the states this restriction applies to. We spoke to a couple of people on that flight. Hear from them at 5 and 6. Chris Horvitz, News 4.
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, phase 4 is likely to begin tomorrow in Wyoming and Genesee counties. But movie theaters, malls, and gyms are still not allowed to reopen. Our News 4's George Rickard had the chance to ask the Lieutenant Governor about that today in Lancaster.
We're here in the village of Lancaster where the Lieutenant Governor kicked off a $14 million project that will renovate historic West Main Street in Lancaster. But of course, the topic of Phase 4 came up. Phase 4 still does not include places like gyms, movie theaters, and malls. We talked to a gym owner about that.
My 1-year anniversary actually is next week. And 4 months of that 1 year, I have not been able to use the facility. I've got high ceilings in here. I have the ability to open the doors. I'm not some big box gym where people are stacked on top of each other.
Just because Phase 4 is starting in some regions tomorrow, in Western New York probably early next week, it doesn't mean that there won't be announcements forthcoming in the near future after that. So anyone who does not see their business or activity listed as a Phase 4 first day activity, don't give up hope. Decisions are being worked on right now to make sure that we do it in a smart way.
More on what the Lieutenant Governor says about reopening coming up at 5. George Rickard, News 4.
State Assemblyman Sean Ryan is calling on the Buffalo Bills to give a pass to season ticket holders for the 2020 season. Ryan is asking owners Kim and Terry Pagula to allow ticket holders to be able to keep their seats for 2021. Now, this comes as the NFL considers plans to allow games to be played with a limited number of fans. And Ryan says some fans might not be comfortable attending games because of their age or even underlying health conditions. He says other teams like the Giants and the Patriots have allowed season ticket holders to skip this season without penalty. And you can now place your bets at the casino in downtown Buffalo. The Seneca Buffalo Creek Casino reopened today. You will have to wear a mask and slot machines will be limited. Table games also are not yet open. A gamer we spoke to says she's impressed with what the casino is doing to keep people safe.
I left a machine I was playing. I had no problem playing it. I got up and walked away, and as soon as I got up and walked away, a member of the clean team came, and she was wiping it off right away. I was like, holy cow, I didn't even do that at my house.
Well, the Seneca Niagara Resort and Casino opened last Thursday, and the Seneca Allegheny Resort and Casino will reopen July 2nd. The campgrounds reopen at Six Flags Darien Lake today, but things will be different when you head there. Masks will not be required while you're at the campsite with your immediate family, but they will be required upon check-in, check-out, and throughout any public areas. Multiple hand sanitizing stations are available in the common areas. Campsite officials say they are working to help everyone stay safe while also having fun.
Six Flags Darien Lake and Six Flags as a company is all about having fun no matter what the circumstance. So we wanted to incorporate the six, which we like to do whenever we come up with new initiatives in our parks. So we came up with, the most important things you have to remember when it comes to being clean, being safe while you're in the park. So that includes wearing your mask, washing your hands, sanitizing, keeping social distance, and of course, having fun.
There is also a new app that you can use to check in on the campsite in an effort to minimize interactions. You can also order food from that app in Darien Square. A little more than 1.4 million laid off workers have now filed for unemployment. This is the 12th straight weekly drop in unemployment numbers, even as the surge threat of coronavirus continues across the country. While the current unemployment rates are still high, the new numbers show the downward trend continues.
14 weeks after this all started, at least we're seeing a tiny bit of improvement, with claims going down by 60,000 over the past week.
Well, service and blue-collar workers have been affected the most during the pandemic, but now more white-collar employees are also being let go. Macy's is cutting 3,900 corporate and management jobs as the retail giant looks to restructure. And Buffalo police are looking for the person who shot two people last night. It happened just before 7 o'clock near Norfolk and Kensington Avenues. Crews rushed both of the victims to ECMC. We are working to find out how they're doing, and you are asked to call police if you have any information. Coming up next on News 4 at 4, we are getting answers from Dr. Gail Burstein about the state of the coronavirus in Erie County and reopening Western New York. Plus, travel troubles, the important advice AAA is giving to all New Yorkers who might have planned trips to states with high coronavirus infection rates.